as I sat and listened to Chris and to Victor, it occurred to me that I'm probably the only one on this panel who has actually represented police departments as clients and individual police officers as defendants with respect to some of the conduct that we're talking about, which may seem a little bit inconsistent with some of the other roles, current roles that I have that Chitty has described. So it's certainly helpful to remind the legal community that there's more than one way to skin a cat with respect to where you get in protecting folks' civil rights. As someone who represents police departments, and clearly I represented as general counsel the police department of the city of Hampton for nearly 16 years, first and foremost, you gain an appreciation for the extent to which policing is a good and noble profession filled with good and noble people who do the right thing and try to do the right thing. So, at the sake of beating the usual drum about a few bad apples, I won't do that, because one bad apple is more than anyone who's lying on the street with their life at risk should have to confront. But as a city attorney advising police departments and the city managers and city councils and boards of supervisors for whom they work, it is just as important that I prevent police officers who do not comply with training and who do ignore law and who do mistreat people, that I make sure that they're not in the police department that I advise, that they're not on the street. And whether that's because we have the right policies in place with respect to hiring them in the first place and appropriate recruitment and screening, or whether it's somewhere further along the spectrum and you have put in place, with the city attorney's involvement, some mechanism by which there are red flags or early warning systems that this is an officer you might need to watch, so that not just as a matter of good risk management, but as a matter of being the right thing to do, you don't put the public at risk of errant police officers. And I use errant as a mild term, obviously. And then when misconduct does occur and you are facing possible lawsuit, liability, injured victims, families who are left bereft because a loved one is dead or a loved one has been mistreated by police, then the right thing to do kicks in there too for local government attorneys, and that is to advise police chiefs and city managers and county executives and boards of supervisors and their department and their risk managers that this is a case you should resolve, and here's why you need to resolve it, as opposed to necessarily plodding ahead and beating victims over the head with qualified immunity and sovereign immunity, when the goal of city government should be first and foremost do the right thing by its citizens. And that was the lens through which I viewed my role as advisor to the police department. Obviously, as chief deputy, you take on a whole nother set of law enforcement agencies as clients: state police, ABC, game and inland fisheries. All of these folks and more are law enforcement officers. And again, you bring that same lens of do the right thing, in my estimation, to that lawyering as well.